Okay, it's a really great pleasure to be in this position and start this symposium honoring Ori Cheshnovsky. I was asked by many people, what's the occasion, what's honoring, and so it's Ori's birthday, roughly, almost right?
Actually, Jordan's birthday today.
Oh.
You should know, yeah.
Wow. Yoshua, Mazal Tov. And so it's not a round birthday or anything like that, but it's a birthday. And also, Ori, officially retired, this year, but practically not much change. He's just getting pension from the university instead of salary, and maybe going to less committees and stuff like that, but certainly doing research. So I would like to invite first Professor Yossi Klafter, the president of Tel Aviv University and good friend of Ori, to say a few words.
So good morning and welcome to the conference honoring Ori Cheshnovsky. First of all, I'm very glad to see here friends and colleagues of Ori from abroad and from Israel. And for me, it's to see faces I haven't seen for years, actually. And also to see his students, some in the audience, some as organizers, and some, of course, as speakers during the day. It's, of course, an honor to have here Ori's scientific mentors, Joshua Jortner and Uzi Even. As you heard already, Ori will have his birthday on the 16th, in 2 days, but Joshua always plays this trick. His birthday is today, so he has already a celebration here, yes? And he also coincided his birth with Einstein's birthday, which is also today. So great. And I would like to say that for me personally, it has been a privilege to have Ori such a good and close friend. I think we go back, 43 years. I arrived here at the university as a new doctoral student of Joshua. Ori was already here, very active. He worked then, or maybe a little later, on non-metal transition. Already then he sticked out as very deep, very innovative, very straightforward. We then, I would say since then, our life trajectories have been entangled, over, I would say, continents and families were very close. We then met again in Boston. I was a postdoc at MIT. Ori was a postdoc at Harvard with Dudley Hershbach. I'm not sure, remembering that time, if he worked with Dudley, for Dudley, or independently of Dudley. Ron was there at the same time, Ron Naaman. And then Ori got an offer from Tel Aviv University and returned to the university. I did not get an offer, which means that probably when they looked for a president, they did not dig deep enough. Anyway, although he returned to Israel, the distance did not, I would say, do anything to our friendship. It just survived the distance. He then postdoced in Houston for Richard Smalley and visited and so on. And then when I returned to Israel, we reunited actually. Now you will hear probably today a lot about Ori's achievements scientifically, originality, really fresh ideas, super high resolution, photoelectron spectroscopy. I would like to speak about Ori as a friend, as a colleague. And I would like to say that I know very, very few people who are so thoughtful, so dedicated, and so loyal. Within one person, you have somebody who cares, somebody who helps, volunteers, and above all, I would say that with this really great wisdom, advisors, mentors, scientifically and beyond. I thought about this, Ori, today, so for me you are kind of a babushka. You know, all these properties, one within the other. Ori chaired the School of Chemistry here, and he then, I would say, got involved in the Nano Center, and the Nano Center today is actually the creation of Ori. He was active not only within the university when it comes to the nanoscience, but also, I would say, on a national level. I would say that, you know, many of us sit on committees. Ori sat on numerous committees. Every committee he was asked to, he agreed and volunteered. But this sounds dull. But actually, I don't know any committee that Ori participated in that he did not make a difference. He also put, again, all his heart into the tasks. And I would say that his fingerprints are everywhere. Many changes we see around come from Ori's ideas. This, I would say, within the School of Chemistry, within the university, and also on a national level. So all I can say that I'm very proud to have this journey with you, and just stay who you are. And we will worry about what you wear, but this is an internal joke. And really, thank you very much for all you have done and will do. And for the rest, enjoy this conference. Thank you very much.
And now greetings by Uzi Even, Ori's PhD mentor.
I guess I was asked to say a few words here because I know Ori for many, many years. Too many years, I would say. First time I met him, he was still a bushy-tailed, bright-eyed student in the third year lab of the undergraduate chemistry. And I remember him from then because he was already then asking questions that were not easy to answer. And this is more or less a sign of what would come to happen in the future. As a graduate student, he was tasked with a crazy idea. What happens if you take a mercury atom and you put it in the neighborhood of something crazy like xenon? Then the mercury atom would like to hug all the electrons to itself and there is nothing happening. But if you add more and more mercury atoms to its neighbors, and they also like to share these electrons, then something happens eventually if the concentration is high enough, and the system becomes conductive, becomes metallic. This is his graduate work, mind you. And that had a lot of impact on our understanding of how materials conduct electricity. After finishing this task, he went on to work as a postdoc, both in Harvard and in Houston, with Rick Smalley and Dudley Harshbach. These were the high days where supersonic machines were created and were producing a lot of new science, and Ori had a very major contribution in both. The idea, new materials were discovered almost daily and had to be investigated and probed and understood and explained. Some of these results are still with us today, not fully developed, like the fullerenes and like nanotubes. But when he came back from his postdoc and was offered a job at our chemistry department, he started working on a similar problem of what happens when you have clusters of metal atoms. How big must the cluster be in order to start conducting electricity? And this had a lot of impact. The answer is about, well, less than 1,000 atoms will require to do that. If you get smaller than that, you don't have conduction of electricity, and that's as small as the limit on how much we can miniaturize electronic devices today. And we are not far from that limit in today's technology. Later on, as was already explained, Ori created the Nano Center, which is very active and essential in many areas of research now at the university. In fact, it is difficult to see how some of our research will take place without this center, and it was not easy. And it is still an ongoing project, and I hope it will continue to develop and contribute the way Ori has constructed it. I don't want to carry it on further and further. It sounds like a funeral. I don't want it to be a funeral. So I will step down here and let us continue with the symposium. We'll see more details of Ori's work during the following hours.
To conclude the greetings part, there's a greeting by Harry Kroto, Sir Professor Harry Kroto. Unfortunately, Harry Kroto would have liked to be here, but his health is not good, and so he basically dictated a greeting to his wife, and she sent it to me. Harry Kroto is for those, if there's somebody who doesn't know, a Nobel laureate, together with Smalley and Curl, about the discovery of fullerenes, 660, and professor from the UK, from Sussex University originally. So here's the greeting. It's an honor to be given the opportunity to say something on behalf of Ori Cheshnovsky. Ori and I first met during the exciting time in 1985-6, when C60 was discovered, and Ori was visiting Rick Smalley's lab to carry out photoelectron spectra of clusters. Rick was not an easy guy to work with, as he really only respected people with his own technical expertise, and Ori was one of those people. As I watched them discussing some very difficult technical problems, it was very clear that Rick really appreciated Ori's expertise. Very few people came into that category, but Ori clearly did. When we first met, we got on like a house on fire immediately. I enjoyed his company and his intelligent, thoughtful conversation and ideas, and that friendship has continued ever since, having met in Israel and in London on several occasions. In these difficult times, I want to say how much I appreciate his friendship and to wish him well in the future. He is a great guy, and I feel I have a great friend who understands many of the issues that concern me from a humanitarian point of view. My wife Margaret and I send our very best wishes to Ori and his family. Harry Kroto. So just before going to the symposium program, I just want to say thanks to a few people that organized this day. So first of all, Israel Sheck and Michael Urbach, who basically initiated that, and together we put up this program. And the Nano Center, headed by Yael Hanin, who generously supported this symposium. And in particular, Miki Shenhar is standing there at the back, who really did the practical organization in a really pleasant and great way. So thank you very much. And also the secretaries of the chemistry department, Zila and Miri, who helped. And now I will give the torch to Professor Avraham Nitzan, who will manage the next part.